Just open and honest conversation.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to talk about something, just let me know.
Listen, we're about authentic conversation here, so everything goes, everything flows.
Okay.
I ain't got time for illusions, wear masks. Let's just be real. That's what I'm on.
Cool. Should I do my intro? Because that's the only, like, it's not even fake, but it's my thing.
Yeah, that's alright.
What is going on? It's your girl C Marie, Positivista, and welcome back to another video. So right now I have got with you Jerome.
How you doing?
Hello.
You sound American there.
How you doing?
How you doing, people?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
So just introduce yourself and what you do and what you're about.
Yeah, so I'm Jerome Harvey Agyei. I'm a human being. I'm a person with heart. I care about people, and I find a way to connect people to now, to life, and to opportunity. So what I do as a title in terms of the job role, I work with the Violence Reduction Unit in the Mayor's office in London, and I'm a growth facilitator. So that means just basically facilitating space for people to grow through training and experiential training like that, so that we put people through experiences, through games and stuff, and then we give them meaning behind those games and learning about yourself. And I'm also one of the co-founders of the Topi Project, which is a project aimed at children in care and careleavers, looking at combating loneliness, and less combating and more loving those who suffer in loneliness. And through that we do Christmas dinners on Christmas Day for a load of young people. We've inspired loads of projects all over the country and soon globally. And we're now looking into new realms, like providing spaces for people to just connect and be authentic and have fun, agenda free.
There you go. That was better than the introduction I gave you. Oh. sorry. Okay, so first thing that I actually did want to talk about is you're a careleaver.
I am.
Yeah. So a lot
proud careleaver.
Come on, that's what I'm talking about. And people on my channel already know that I'm a careleaver. I've shared my story. Big up myself. But you know what? Today it's not about me. Today it's about you.
It's about us.
It's that as well. And so care to share.
Yeah.
How you went into care.
I like that. Care to share.
Jeez,
I like that. So yeah, like I'm quite raw with how I speak about coming through care and coming into care. So I came into the care at the age of 4 years old. Watched as a child, 4 years old, was on the streets. Mum was an alcoholic and a lot of drugs around us. Our estate was very drug riddled. We were street kids, so we was always on the streets, taking poos in the park, going up to the ice cream man, trying to hustle sweets, going into shops, stealing from shops, being on the street, going to neighbours' house, seeing people fighting. And the day I went into care, my mum had been raped, and I watched her being raped and stabbed in the eyebrow. And then the next day we went in nursery, and then after nursery they said, oh yeah, your mum's ill. I was like, as a kid I knew my mum's not ill. She'd been raped. Someone had attacked her or hurt her, but I couldn't express.
Yeah.
So that was like, for me, from young, I was always a sponge. I was always like what they call meerkat, where you're just like up and alert. So night time would come and I'm alert. And to this day, I'm still, when it comes to night, I become quite alert. Ideas start coming, and that's all stemmed from childhood. And then, so during that time, we went into care because of emotional abuse, neglect mainly, but a bit of physical as well. So my mum used to hit us, but not like bad. Then we went into care at the age of 4, and then we was with an Asian family, so new smells, new environment. Yeah, just different smells. Like you walk into the home and it's just like, whoa, different smell, different environment, different look. Like my mum was white.
Yeah.
These were Asian family, different like processes. They prayed every day. We didn't know about no praying. So yeah, that was really different. And then yeah, we were there for what we call the honeymoon period, as you call it.
Yeah.
But obviously we're street kids, so our street thing is open up the door, get out. So eventually they started locking the door, and eventually they started to physically abuse us. So they used to hit us, and it was worse than what my mum used to do, because my mum didn't really used to hit us like mad. She just hit us with like on our hands or with things,
like
but
a
like
slap on the wrist kind of
yeah,
thing.
like but out of frustration and stuff like that. Whereas this was more like intentional. It felt like racist kind of abuse, where it's like they'd lock us in a cellar and make us like. And I was afraid of the dark, and I used to believe in gremlins. So at this time, so when they used to lock us in the cellar's pitch black, and I used to sit at the door just like looking through the hole, just trying not to see, because I thought if I look back, the gremlins are going to get me, kind of thing. But then that built me resilience in me, because obviously I didn't begin to fear the dark because I was in it.
Yeah.
So in a sense, I look at it like Batman, and how he was afraid of bats, but then he got into the cave, and that's what it was like for us.
Yeah.
But it was little things that were like the beatings. Like we could take beatings. Beating was nothing. We already had beatings, so it didn't really matter to us. And we used to get some bad beatings, but that was nothing compared to the emotional scars. So like things like not being able to sit on like the family would sit on the sofa and we would have to sit on the floor. Just knowing you're nothing, basically, like, and then the family would eat food together. We wouldn't eat food with them. The family would eat certain types of food. We're not eating the same food. We're eating some nasty stuff. They're eating all what they call biryani, which was like rice with
nice bread,
like bread and the rotis, and we didn't get none of that. So I was like, I used to steal in the middle of the night. I used to get up and steal like Mars bars from the fridge and rotis from the tin, and then eat what I could, and then stuff it behind. We had a fireplace in our room, so stuff it behind there. So there was like little things, and then even simple things, which was a little crazy. Like we would watch them pray and copy them, and then they would beat us for copying them. Like we're doing something you're doing. Never understood it, but they didn't want us to be who they were.
Yeah.
Like we'd go to family functions, stand and face the wall. When they used to go out, the family used to go out. The older son would make us face the wall for hours, write lines, you are shit, or whatever it was. It was jail. So those first like 5 years in care, I was 4, we stayed there till 9. I was just disempowered with life. I didn't know who I was. I didn't even know what I was.
From 4 to 9?
Yeah.
And this was an ongoing thing?
5 years. It was mental. Now I think of it, I'm like, wow, we went through some crazy. It was like 5 years of jail. But it was nuts. But then there was like strokes of, and it's mad, innit? Like it was strokes of little things that kind of made me feel, oh, I'm a little bit loved. So like once a week we used to have a bath, and then when they used to take us out, the foster care dad, he would wrap us in a towel, and then lift us out of the bath. And that little moment,
that for you was a hug.
That was like love. That was like, oh, that felt so nice. So that was like my little thing of like, oh, okay, that's what love could feel like.
Yeah.
I had a bit of it. Then I went into, and then there was another thing that I used to dream of Disney. I used to cry myself to sleep and dream of Disneyland.
Were you there?
I used to go every night. I would go to Disneyland in my head. Like I would literally dream of it, go to it. And I remember there was in '98 when so what happened? In school I used to avoid speaking about who I was, but then outside of that, they put us in the yellow advertisement, me, my brother and my sister, and was like, do you want to adopt these kids? And my friends come into school like, who is this? And I was like, ah, man.
Oh my God.
I've been trying to hide who I am, and I don't know who I am. And now they know, like, something's up. Because when our carers would pick us up, people used to be like, who's that? And I'd be like, oh, that's my mum's friend. Like, and then, so
and it's like your mum's friend picks you up every day religiously.
Yeah, every day.
Eventually,
never seen my mum, except for when she climbed over the playground one time.
To come and see you lot.
She was drunk. She was like, where's my in Sons? And like, we were like, don't know who she is. She's some crazy woman. But she's crazy. I don't know. But yeah, it was sad to think that because we didn't know who he was, we wasn't able to acknowledge who we are. And that was because they didn't even speak to us about who we are, what happened. But I had memories of like the trauma.
Yeah.
So I'll cry myself to sleep, then I'll go back to certain places, and then I'd force my mind to go to Disneyland. And then that same year, they took us to Disneyland, this family.
Oh
was
my
the first
gosh.
time, like, I was like, wow, I'm actually in my dreams. And then I remember the sons used to try and bully us. And we used to just, like, in me, I knew I'd do something to you, but the dad would beat us up.
Yeah, yeah.
So...
Were the sons the same age as you?
They were 1 year older than us.
Okay.
But when they used to hit us, it didn't really hurt. So I think if I hit him back...
It's not gonna hurt.
Yeah. But I didn't know, like, so I didn't know my power. Then when we went to Disneyland, I remember they was trying to bully my brother. And then I had a flashback from when my mum was beating my brother when he was young and his nose started bleeding. And I tried to fight my mum and I had a flashback.
Yeah.
The same situation, and then my mum just threw me, whatever. But then the same thing happened with them, but I went nuts. And I just remember, like...
This is in Disneyland.
This is in
where
Disneyland, in the hotel.
It's supposed to be your dream.
Yeah. They're hitting my brother, both of them, ganging up on my brother, and I just went, we just beat the crap out of them. That's when I realised, oh my God, like, I'm powerful. Then the dad was like, wait till you get home, in their language, wait till you get home, yeah, you're going to get beats. Oh. So the rest of Disneyland, I'm having fun, but
at the back of your mind,
I'm thinking, when we get home, but when we got home, he forgot. So I was like, I remember France 98 was on as well. That was when the football, France, we was there during that time. Yeah, and then we moved to a Trinidadian lady. Amazing. She's my mum now. Like, she's my adopted mum. She's one of my mums. I've got 3. But she, beautiful woman. Like, very vocal. All your children, come on, get your clothes together. Relax. And yeah, she just gave us love. She gave us unconditional love. And I remember, if I was to speak about a significant point, it would be when we broke the front door window. Like, the front door had glass and we smashed it, all 3 of us. Like,
were you guys playing?
Yeah, jumping from the steps and hitting it, like fly kicking it.
That's at your
Trinidadian's house, yeah. And she's like, oh yeah, come here right now. So the window's all smashed. She's like, listen, if all you think that breaking up things and all this thing is gonna make me go away, carry on, but not go nowhere. So we was like, bro, we got permission to cause destruction, and she still won't go nowhere, and she's not hitting us.
Yeah.
And then from that day, I was just like,
we're staying right here.
I'm just gonna listen. And she's like, listen, if I hit you, you're not gonna hear me.
Yeah.
So if I want you to hear me, I'm not gonna hit you because you're gonna focus on the hitting.
Yeah.
I was like, such logic.
Such logic, isn't it?
Yeah. But she opened us our minds, and we were able to see, like, the beauty of life, going on holiday, seeing blue water for the first time and realising, wow, there's blue water, swimming along the ocean, seeing the sunset come down. That was when I was like, wow, life is deep. Yeah. It's different. There's a beauty in life. Then seeing poverty in a different way, like, rah, I thought we was poor, and then I saw poverty, I was like, rah, and they're happy. So then I started unconsciously learning that the key to life is success is not about what you acquire, it's about what you inquire about inside.
Yeah. So
not acquire outside, but inquire within.
Yeah. So just touching from what you just said, so how, because I can imagine I can only imagine what you went through, right? And it's like, someone can come and say, we've all been through stuff, and it's like, no, we've all been through stuff, but everyone's stuff is different, and in a way, everyone heals different. Sometimes some people are not even able to heal. So how did you find peace within yourself? For
a long time, I didn't find peace. What I was doing was masking, and that's why I talk about removing masks and illusions, because you allow someone to remove the mask and they're able to breathe and be like, oh, that's what that thing is. That's what's been holding me back. So what I was doing for a long time was masking, deflecting. So what I was doing is over showing love to other people to avoid myself. So I was overcompensating, and it was like, deep down I'll get home and I'll be like, oh, I hate myself. But it's weird because everyone else saw me as like this loving guy, and I was just like, I had so much thoughts of not being here. So what I did was, there was one day my friend at the time she was quite suicidal, and she was like, I'd lost Toby the year before, so he had committed suicide, and I was like, right, I'm him. That was my unconscious thought. And then I was still kind of deflected, wearing the mask. And then my friend was trying to kill herself, and she was calling, I was on the phone to her, she's on the bridge, and I'm saying to her, you can't do this, I've just had another friend who's killed himself. So then I found this little seminar. I was like, look, let's just find something, like let's just try and do something, and I'll do it with you.
Yeah.
So we went on this seminar called Power to Succeed, and that weekend it was meant to be for her, but it was actually for me.
Yeah.
I was doing all this like work, I was like, whoa. And then this guy was like, because they were trying to like sell me stuff, I was like, oh, I can't afford it, whatever. And then the guy was like, well, how much are you worth? And I was like, it's true, I spend so much money on crap, why don't I invest in myself? So I paid to go on this course, which like part of me was like, because I'm so attached. I wasn't like, I had a bad relationship with money, didn't understand value and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then, so I started doing all this work, and then I started meeting lots of different people, and I started doing learning. So then I just got obsessed with learning about myself, different healing techniques, and I started meeting different people, and I started learning different things, removing layers, crying in love, like all sorts of weird stuff. But like ultimately understanding, like what I've been doing is pulling out things that are tangible, so things that people can actually use and go, oh, I can take that home, and I can package that, and I can give that away.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of work which was about like physically getting things from the mind out. So like what a powerful process I did was write a letter to the person that caused me pain, which was the people that abused us. And I just like, after that I just cried like, and then as soon as I'd read that letter, it was like a weight, like literally I felt light. I was like, wow, I had my power back. And then I saw them like a couple of weeks later. After I did that, which was like the test of, I would say, God, the universe, just saying, hey, let's see if you really got your power.
Oh my God.
And I just stared them in the eyes, and I just sent them love. I was like, listen, you know what you did, but I'm going to save you from what we could do.
Yeah.
And then I just started like saying, I love you, like, I am beautiful, I'm powerful.
Yeah.
Like bare affirmations that I say in my head, but I don't say out loud. So I started saying it out loud.
Do you say it loud now to yourself?
I say it like I know I'm powerful. I am light, like I am love. When people say, who are you? I'm love. I'm light. Yeah, I'm beyond boundaries. Like I'm you, you're me. Like we're connected. So it's like when I started saying that, I started crying. I was like, wow, this is the love I need to feel for myself.
Yeah.
So and it's all about self. Is that nothing else is important until you work on that self. And you tell yourself. Forget, like, a million people can tell you, but it doesn't matter until you tell you. So that's what I did, and then I was like, right, I get it now. Like, and this is last year. So the journey doesn't stop. Like this year I did some healing. I did 2 types of healing. I did some bio-healing recently with a guy from India. That was powerful. I did some healing from what they call dragon healing. And that was another guy. And then I've got like another massage thing. So I do things to feel, experience.
Yeah.
And I'm where, like, I've had, like, because I believe I'm spiritual. When people say, oh, are you religious? I'm not religious in the sense of religions, but I've got a relationship with God.
Yeah.
Because when I got stabbed, I had like angels around me. Wow. I can't explain it, but it was a feeling, light and feeling. It wasn't like anything that you could properly comprehend.
Yeah, you can't even explain it.
Yeah, it was mad. So since then I've known that there's something beyond, but also I'm here for a certain purpose.
Yeah.
So I've just been tuned into that, and then like I see it with like when I go on a lot of these courses, and a lot of the things that are taught I already have within me. So some people will say, oh, have you done this already? Like hypnotherapist or something. I'm like, no. They're like, but you do it. And there's a technique. Is a way, because I'm connected to the source, there's a way to speak to yourself in a certain way.
Yeah.
But that's just come through having pain and all this stuff. You become very aware of people or things, or working out who cares, who doesn't. Is this for me? Is this new environment? Like when you're in care, you move around, you're like, So you become very
aware.
Hyper alert.
Yeah.
But I use it now in terms of just being aware of who's around me, what's going on. And sometimes, like, if I get drunk, which is, like, not often anymore, but when I get drunk, I'll get into, like, I'll just tell people about their lives, and I don't know how I'm doing it. they were like, what? How did you know that? I'm like, I don't know, but just letting you know, man.
Yeah. It's almost like, obviously, in religion terms, it's like you're prophesying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, are you a prophet?
Yeah,
kind of thing.
And like, I'll get people saying like, you know that thing you tell me, can you tell me more? And I'll be like,
I'm not
what
able
I
to tell
tapped
you.
into. It just comes, but I do it sometimes in like without having to get drunk. But I do it when I tune into people and it comes, but I don't know where it comes from. I just know that I know I'm getting something from you.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is, but yeah, the more you work on yourself, you start like discovering gifts of life and purpose and interesting facts, and you start realizing the illusion of the systems that we're under, and you just get freedom. For me, it's all about freedom in the mind, so you can experience life in such a beautiful, complete way.
Yeah.
And not knowing it all and detaching from the ego, so like not having to win everything and be successful, but just living. That's a successful thing. Getting up every day. You know, some people struggle to get up. You know, I used to. So I think people attain success to so much like goals and stuff. Sometimes just understanding that you're alive and everything around you is made of value is so beautiful, because that's a success in itself. So yeah, I mean, the more I've done work on me, I've unlocked things for other people around me. So before I was trying to change them, now I change me and they change anyway.
Yeah.
So they go, oh, Jerome, what drug are you taking? Because you seem very happy. Drug of life, baby.
Drug of life.
You smell that? That's air. Do you know what I mean? And we're easily able to do away with bullshit.
Yeah.
Sorry for my French and English. But we are. Like, I'm done with it. I'm done with bullshit. I'm down with authentic conversations. If you're feeling like crap, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
And no judgments. Like, I'm not going to judge you for whatever. The only thing I judge you for is if you trouble a kid or something.
Yeah,
But other than that, I'm not really going to judge you, because I understand everything comes from a place. Do you know what I mean?
So my question then is, did you ever, when you were younger, did you ever hear boys don't cry?
Yeah, of course.
Hearing that when you were younger, how did you deal with that, or how do you deal with that now? I didn't
deal with it. That was it was just like, well, it is, boys don't cry, and that was it, put the mask on.
So you really didn't cry when you were younger?
No. I used to get, because I remember when I got abused in care, we used to get beaten, and they would say if you cry, you get more beats. So we learnt to suppress crying only when I went to bed. Then eventually, I felt like I ran out of tears. I couldn't cry anymore. I felt like I cried all my tears.
But did you feel like then it was anger like built in? Did you feel like you were like keeping anything in? Yeah, it was all stored. It's like a computer. You store it until you need it. But then what happens is you get to a point, like even when I had quite a few friends who were killed. One of my close boys died, and I didn't really cry, which was like, I felt bad for it. But then I cried when I had that, when I did the seminar, and then I got to that point and I realised that was some of the significant moments that have led me to relationships that have broken down, or not staying connected, or not avoiding certain people. I realised that's when I was like, and it felt so good. It feels so good. But when I was a child, like, it was like, when I was a child, we used to cry, like, it was mad. I was crying mad. But yeah, we didn't, like, when we first moved, we cried a lot. We used to headbang as well, like smash our heads in the wall. Really? Yeah, like proper. I've got a scar somewhere here. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah. It's the frustration though, isn't it? Yeah, and you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are, what you are. You've never explained about your identity. You can't work out. Everyone else sounds like they got a great life, and in your head you've got a crap life, and everyone seems to be living this fairy tale, and you're just not part of it. Yeah. So that was what the power for me was, just understanding who am I, and this queen of a woman inserted that in us. She helped us to understand our royalty. She gave us the first step. The next step was me. She opened the door. But the next step was me to walk through it and understand. So only until like 20, 21, I started going, me is a royalty. Royalty. You know? But in a beautiful way, like, we are all royal in our own ways. You know, we're all one light. It's just whether we choose it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm telling you, I can talk about healing all day, every day, and I think obviously I grew up in church, so for me to see people being healed, physical healing all the time was nothing for me. I grew up in church seeing it, but it wasn't until I realised that I needed healing from within. Not like any type of physical, because I knew there was nothing wrong with me physically, but I knew within myself that something was not right, and there was some unfinished business. But I knew that I had to step out of religion. I had to be stripped of everything that I had ever known, everything that I had ever been taught, and start again. Right? That was like rewiring of my mind. And in Christianity, they call it the renewing of your mind. It's very similar. There's a lot of things that's similar, but
there's a lot of universal messages that are in religion. But it gets attached to ego, which is like, oh, we know the best. Actually, you
my
all know
God
best.
is better than your God, or
Yeah,
our way of praying is better than your way, and it's like
you all know greatness. You all have great information. It's just been processed differently. So you know, like you. As they say, only God can judge, but then we're all judging, and we're all causing divisions. Like, leave that to God. If people don't hear your message, then that's fine.
That's fine.
But
maybe it's not for them.
But also, I always believe like people don't listen to what you say; they listen to what you do. So, if you want someone to investigate what you're talking about, let them see the model of what they look at you like Jesus. Jesus was a model. He didn't go around talking about Bible and all this stuff. He went around doing things, and then people were like, he's got a beautiful little cat soul. Yes. Yeah. What is this? We want to know more.
Yeah. What is this?
So then they were like, no, you can't be good. And then apparently he was. So there's different things.
Do you believe he was?
I believe he was alive. I don't know if he's, because I can't, like, with my personal experience of the world that we don't know.
Yeah.
I know there's angels, but they don't have form. They have energy that gives you like, woo. So I believe we all have a bit of God in us because God created us. So we're obviously part of Him in some way or form.
Not just that, in Christianity, it talks about the Spirit of God living inside of us.
Yeah.
So if He lives inside of us, then
He is us. He can't live inside of us if He created us. If we are Him, He's us.
I mean, it does say that He created us in His own image.
So, I don't know. But it's too deep to fathom. But all I can know is that I have to respect the Creator. And I know there's a Creator in some way or form, but I don't know. I haven't got the mind capacity to understand that. But I do understand the feeling of energy, good energy, bad energy, when things don't feel right and all that kind of stuff, and when we're not in tune and that kind of stuff. So I deal with how we help people to free themselves from themselves. Yeah. So like,
some people don't even know that they're bound within themselves.
Yeah. And some people get caught up, like, you know, like if you don't, there's this saviour complex, which is like, oh, we need to have Jesus and all this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, if you're in a really bad place, or if you're in a place of positivity, like really positive, and you're like, Jesus, fair enough, I'm happy with that. But it's when they use it to control and manipulate and say, well, if you don't follow Jesus, you're going to hell. And then I'm like, that energy isn't right, because you're judging the same thing that God says don't do, you're doing it. So then, are you any better? Like when I see preachers in the corner, like, everybody's going to hell if you don't, you know, get rid of your sins, or whatever it is. But it's like, well, we're already the way they've explained it, we're already sinners, so we can't win. So guess what? Let's just be as good as we can. Because I say to them, who's the better man? There is no better man, but who is the better man? If you're there talking about sinning and I'm there doing good, you're actually talking about sinning. So really, you're sinning because you're putting that energy onto people. I believe in spreading the word, but spread a word that people can move to. Like for instance, the modelling. Like, okay, cool. You're going to hell is going to make you more connected to God, or you helping a group of children who need to be nourished and teach them about Jesus and the things He did. What's going to work? The going to hell, or So it's all like
I think with like, especially with like religions, it's too much like pressing you towards fear. It's like, and really, what if anything? Because I'm a Christian, but at the same time, I would describe myself as spiritual, to the point where I just want to be like Jesus.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just want to live.
We all want to be like Jesus,
like,
man. Walk on water, baby.
I just want to be like Jesus.
Yeah.
I just want to live the principles.
Mm.
I'm not here trying to judge anybody or anything. It's long. We don't have time for
Yeah.
that. There's children
Anybody
suffering.
got time for that?
Everybody got time for that. There's
True.
children suffering and all of that.
Yeah.
We don't need that energy right now. Like, we just need to more doing.
I respect that.
You know, more doing and less condemning.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I think there's time and place for doing and condemning, but in a place of like, when it's like dire, when people are just living and they're not normally aware, I think you can bring awareness to people, and that's fine, but it has to be done in a way which is going to move them towards what you want them to do.
Yeah.
And then following, like being the leader, so they can be like, you know what, I like how you move.
Yeah.
I'm going to move like that. Because like when we do our projects, it's not religious based, but people always like, "Oh, you're not religious." Like, you might as well say I am, but I'm just not attached to any titles of religion. I believe in a lot of the stories. They're there for a reason. So I wasn't there alive at these points when these books were created. So who am I to question it? The Torah to me is real. The Quran's probably real, and they're all real. They're just perspectives.
Do you believe that all of these different religions are just like a journey? We're just all going home.
I believe they're just perspectives of the same story. It's like the world. If someone tried to create a book on the world right now, look how many perspectives there'll be. So guess what? There's nothing to say that they're not all true. They probably are all true, but from different perspectives. And then they're all saying, it's like saying you've got a human race, but there's different colours. If an alien came in and looked at the different human race colours, like, well, the black person's right, the white person, the Chinese, they can't, all of them can't be real. They're all human.
But we're all human.
So it's like,
that is deep.
It is what it is. So it's like, actually, there's just different perspectives, and actually, I respect every single one of them. I respect even when people laugh at, like I hear people joke about like Hinduism, and they say, "Oh, the god with 6 arms" and all this stuff. But then you will meet people who have been on DMT, and they will tell you about this god with 6 arms or whatever. Like, so there's like, it's dependent on what people's experience within their life.
And really, I believe that whatever you believe, the more you believe it becomes real to you.
Yeah, for real.
So it's like, if you believe in this, and you know that it's real, it will keep manifesting itself because you believe it.
Yeah.
It's the belief system. What you believe becomes real to you. So
it's all perspective. So.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm not here to question anyone. I think
not at all.
Once it doesn't destroy humanity, then
I'll let God deal with whoever.
Well, God's dealing with us right now.
That's
man.
it. He's dealing with
everything that's happening.
Coronavirus and everything. Let me sip my let me sip my drink.
Yeah, it's mad. It is mad. But it's what it is.
Yeah. So.